going on YouTube? It's your boy back on the scene. We back with another video. Incognito. Today for you guys, we're on the Game Theories channel, and this one right here is called Game Theory. Will the Fortnite Meteor destroy everything? Fortnite Battle Royale. Yep. So once again, we're back with another Fortnite video. Before we get into the video, like, share, subscribe on the video. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Helps out the channel a lot. There's a link to the box down below. I know I might look a little sleepy, and I'm trying out this, now with the light on and everything, just trying this out again. But like I said, I just kind of woke up a little bit. I might be looking a little sleepy. But without further ado, man, we're going to get through this video. So let's get it. Got a scar, okay.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory and the middle of Battle Royale Week. In case you missed the first of these special episodes, a few days ago I covered mathematical evidence against the media's claims that games like Fortnite and PUBG cause players to become more violent. And later this week, I'll be looking deeper at whether these
just like GTA basically.
But today,
GTA did the same thing.
A much more pressing issue. The meteor that's about to strike Tilted Towers tomorrow, turning this iconic area of the game map into nothing more than rubble. I'm not here to theorize about its existence or when and where it's gonna land. I think everyone who's been following that situation has a pretty good handle on that one already. No, I'm here today to explore how much destruction
not much is going to change.
Traveling that fast should cause. Is this flying hunk of rock spelling Armageddon?
I wonder though, how much is that really going to change Fortnite, because that means a lot more people's going to be going to a lot more other places. So it's not going to be the more Tilted Towers.
Physics have the answer, and I gotta say, this is a conclusion that I was not expecting. Now, to make sure that we're all on the same page, over the past month, Fortnite players have noticed that an unusual object has appeared in the sky. First, it was small and barely distinguishable from the surrounding stars, but each day this unidentified flying object has grown larger and larger, causing an onslaught of
I never even noticed
that.
that.
What? Theory being that this thing is
I never even noticed that.
Larger as it travels closer and closer.
Have y'all seen that? Put in the comments down below if you ever seen that. Cause I haven't seen that before while playing.
As evidenced by its blue color and distinctive tail. When it officially enters the Fortnite planet's atmosphere, though, that's when it switches over and becomes classified as a meteor. Fun facts. Anyway, over the past few weeks, telescopes have begun to appear at various locations around the map, including fatal fields.
Yeah, I see that. I see those telescopes.
Point directly at the comet. Additionally, over the past couple weeks, players have reported that their controllers vibrate at random times in seemingly random sequences. However, these vibrations are far from random, happening at very specific locations in the map at very specific times. The vibrations actually seem to be hidden messages written in Morse code. When translated, that message reads SOS D5418. The letters SOS are pretty obvious here, right? They're the typical call when you're in need of help. Fun fact, most people assume that SOS stands for Save Our Souls or Save Our Ship, but actually it doesn't stand for anything. It's just kind of a remnant from the earliest days of Morse code when ships needed to send out a distress call. The letters were actually meaningless. There you go. Anyway, the SOS part of this message is easy. We all know that. The next part of the message, D5, most likely corresponds to a location on the Fortnite map. On the game map, D5 is the location of Tilted Towers. And lastly, the final 3 digits correspond to the date 4/18, April 18th. The 18th of April is when Season 3 of Fortnite is slated to end. So, in short, between the added telescopes and in-game Morse code, I am confident that Tilted Towers will become some new location, something along the lines of Cavernous Crater. The developers at Epic Games are planning on altering the map of Fortnite in the easiest way that they know how, chucking a giant space rock at its most popular and most divisive location during the transition between seasons of the game. In one massive act of God, Epic Games is about to kill 2
That's gonna be insane. I just really want to know how it's gonna really change it.
But like I said, this
because like I said, a lot more people is gonna be in a lot more areas, because at least like over 40% of people be landing in Tilted. So it's gonna really change the game like a lot for the next season.
Big meteors in the sky tend to yield big changes. to humanity's survival on a planet. So could there be a bigger change in store than just Tilted Tower's destruction? Let's see if you should spend your last hours of the season rocket riding your way to safety or preaching that the end is near. The Game Theorists, predicting fictional apocalypses since 2013. First, I want to determine the mass of the meteor. Real-life comets and meteors have varying densities based on the types of rocks that they're made from, ranging from 2 grams per cubic centimeter all the way to 8 grams per cubic centimeter. So examining the characteristics of the meteor in Fortnite should help us find that density. Now, you might be thinking that it would be impossible to determine what this fictional video game comet would be made out of, but then you would just be underestimating our research powers. Comets and meteors have tails because their particles are ionized when exposed to solar wind. And wouldn't you know it, but the color on the tail corresponds to the material that the object is made from. Red corresponds to nitrogen, yellow corresponds to iron, and blue corresponds to magnesium. In Fortnite, the meteor very clearly has a blue tail, indicating that its chemical composition is magnesium-based. And as such, we can use research to find that magnesium-based asteroids have a density of 3.32 grams per cubic centimeter. From there, all we need is volume. And, courtesy of our all-time favorite equation, D equals M over V, or in this case, M.
Oh, now we're learning. Well, that's one thing you do with game theories videos. You definitely are going to learn.
Now, some
Always.
data miners have gone through the game's code and found a 3D model that strongly resembles a comet. Could this be what the comet will look like after the collision? We can't know for sure, but even if we were 100% confident, it doesn't help us out too much.
It's a nice sized meteor.
That's
what it's gonna look like. It's a nice sized meteor.
This thing against, it could be anywhere from 5 centimeters to 5 kilometers wide. But luckily, a Reddit user reported seeing this 3D model located in the game. By exploiting the new replay functionality, user Dark Smudgy was able to look under Tilted Tower and found the very same model located there. Not only does that seem to confirm that this is in fact the meteor post-crash, because the towers are included in the image, we now have ourselves a reliable reference scale to base the size of this thing off of. Last video I was able to calculate the size of each square in-game to be 330 meters long using the measurements of this grounded battle bus. Applying this same scale to the model of the crashed meteor, it measures out to be just over 20 meters long, 12 meters high, and 4.8 meters wide. Just to give you some context, 20 meters long is about as long as a bowling alley, and 12 meters high is about as tall as a telephone pole. Using the formula to calculate the volume of one ellipsoid, V equals 4/3 times pi times A times B times C, the volume is calculated out to be 603 cubic meters, which we can now plug back into mass. A 603 million cubic centimeter meteor times the 3.32 grams per cubic centimeter density of a magnesium-based asteroid.
That sounds like a lot of numbers.
200,000 kilograms.
Whoa, that is
200,000 kilograms, that sounds like a lot, but when it comes to the size of space rocks, it's actually not that heavy. It's only about as heavy as a jumbo jet, or just under as heavy as the Statue of Liberty. But even still, that is a 200 ton of space
I never would have thought that.
For the most popular location in the entire game. So now that we know the size and mass of the comet, let's actually find out its speed. Since the meteor appears to be getting closer every day, if we find the distance to it on each day, we can actually find the speed by dividing the distance that the comet has traveled by the time. In astronomy, scientists would use a technique called parallax, where they use angles calculated at various points around the globe to find the distance from you and the object. However, this just isn't possible in Fortnite because the angle doesn't change based on where you're located on the map. I'm sure the programmers never intended anyone to give the angle to the comet a second thought. But I, dear viewers, I am that second thought. The other strategy here is to find the angular radius of the comet, and then use trigonometry to find the distance. And unbelievably, we can actually do this using the game's in-game compass, similar to what we did with Mario Odyssey. I found that the meteor began with an angular radius of 0.184 degrees, and 10 days later had an angular radius of 0.8 degrees. And yeah, to eliminate all possible variables, these calculations were taken from the exact same location on the map at the exact same time of day. So the only difference
So it was
here
moving?
is the size of the meteor. Lastly, to find the distance to that meteor, we need to know the width.
Really? So it was actually moving this whole entire time? I never noticed that meteor in the air though. Like I never noticed that. All the time, I guess I really wasn't looking at the sky like that. But like I was always just playing. I never really just looked at the sky like that.
Although the exact
Insane.
amount of fragmentation depends on variables such as velocity, surface area, and density of the atmosphere, meteors generally experience a fragmentation rate of about 50 to 60%. This means, upon entry into the atmosphere, a meteor like this would lose 50 to 60% of its mass. So if the mass of the meteor in the ground is 200 metric tons, then it would be expected to have a mass of about 400 metric tons while it's traveling through space. Doing the reverse of all the volume calculations we just did, a similarly proportioned ellipsoid prior to falling through the atmosphere would average out to be about
I'm completely
29
lost right
meters
now.
long. And with that number, we have every variable that we need to calculate the distance. Using a tangent function, which you might remember is the TOA part of SOHCAHTOA, tangent equals opposite over adjacent, we find that the meteor is going to be 15.5 kilometers away on day 1 and 3.5 kilometers away on the 10th day. It took that meteor 10 days, or 864,000 seconds, to move 12,000 meters, calculating a velocity of 0.013 meters per second. And if I had said it this way,
0.013 meters per second.
you would assume that that meant it was really fast. But I said it this way, which should lead you to believe that that is extremely slow. And it is. But to let you know how slow this thing is, to put it in perspective, a sloth, one of the slowest animals on the planet, has a top speed of 0.08 meters per second. That sloth is almost 6 times
A sloth?
faster than the Fortnite Meteor. By the way, with a speed of 0.013 meters per second and a distance of 3.5 kilometers away from the planet,
I mean, that thing
you're
is not
still
traveling that
around
fast. Then if a
8.4
sloth is faster
That's
than it,
beside the point. Here's the big question. With speeds that slow and a size as large as it is this meteor actually still dangerous? Kinetic energy is calculated using the formula 0.5 times mass times velocity squared. With a mass of 200 tons and a speed of 0.013 meters per second, kinetic energy calculates out to be 19 joules. 19 joules is the energy of an average person jumping. Believe it or not, but the meteor is simply traveling too slow to actually pose any threat to the Fortnite map. And that's no exaggeration. Using an online calculator from Purdue University, a 20-year-long meteor with a
so
density of 3.32
this
grams per
meteor
centimeter
shouldn't
traveling
really
at a speed
do
of
anything? Is that what
0.013
he's
meters
basically
per
saying with all these
second,
calculations?
creating a
I'm
crater
just
of
completely
only
lost.
1.6 meters wide and only 30 centimeters deep. That is the equivalent of dropping a pickup truck from like a few dozen feet up. I mean, sure, there might be a few cracks in the pavement, but no actual damage would take place. This meteor, based on all of its scientifically confirmed stats, would practically bounce off tilted towers. The most inconvenience that this thing would cause would just be that there's now a giant space boulder in the middle of the battlefield. So, all things being said, what's gonna happen on 4/18? Maybe Epic Games is just messing with all the players, and none of the evidence means anything. Most likely, players are gonna log into the game and find out that the site formerly known as Tilted Towers became ground zero for this massive meteor strike, and that'll be it. The rest of the map will just be 100% intact. But if the meteor behaved according to the science, it would land in the middle of Tilted Towers and literally not cause any damage whatsoever. Talk about a kick in the ass steroid. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Make sure you rocket ride your way to that subscribe button because there is still one more Fortnite theory coming out this week for Battle Royale week. Can you snipe that subscribe button with your mouse in 5 seconds? 5, 4, help us.
Alright, well, we're gonna end it right there. Like I said, that was will the Fortnite Meteor destroy everything. Just a little recap. I didn't even like. I heard about the meteor from somebody, one of my friends on my friend list. I'll be playing the game with or whatever. He was telling us about it or whatever. But I never really just looked into the like sky while playing Fortnite and never really noticed like the meteor itself like coming towards like your city or whatever. But like I said, if y'all have seen it in game, like I say, put in comments down below. I like to hear that. But like I said, being boy Incognito, and I'm out. Peace.